Night Radio. This is the weekly music podcast where every week we get into a different band, different artist, and we listen to all of their records. We rank them from worst to best. We give our biggest banger, biggest stinker from each of them, and we try to have a good time doing it. My name is Tyler, and way out there, hundreds of miles away, is Jeff. While you're listening, go to Spotify, Apple Podcast, all the social medias at Ask Night Radio, all that good stuff. Let's get right into it. What band are we doing this week, Jeff? Go.
We're doing Queens of the Stone Ages.
Queens of the Stone Ages. They have 8 records. They have 8 records, and like I said, we're going to do our biggest banger, biggest stinker from each of them if we got them. And let's get into this. Number 8, the worst Queens of the Stone Age record. Go.
We definitely are going to do the biggest or our least favorite song because that's what we do. We don't, unless you're Tyler right in the fence. So, well, actually, I don't have a worst song because it's a perfect record, so I can't do that. But their worst record.
Still going?
Yeah, their worst record, at least for me, none of these were bad, to be honest. It's just some of these were just kind of like boring, and I just didn't care for them that much. So I have like specific criteria as to why things are ranked the way they are. So Era Vulgaris, their 5th record, 2007. This was kind of a weird one because I actually did really like the sound of this. Like it sounded just like the tone of this was exactly what I want from a Queen's record. Like the arrangements were amazing, like on River in the Road. Like I love that song. It was great, but I think the execution was just boring. I think you have a great concept, great ideas. The way you did it was, like you could have done better. Just a little weak. A couple songs were great, but other than that, it's just I thought it was a weak attempt. Which is also kind of funny because I thought this record, almost above all of the records, had the most kind of like Grateful Dead-esque jammy songs coming from them. Okay. So I did like a lot about this record, but it was just. Too mediocre for me. Make It With You, that was my favorite. This one of the songs that came from the Desert Sessions. A lot of their songs came from the Desert Sessions. But the OG version had PG Harvey on backing vocals. And that was my favorite Desert Session. I think it was 10 or 9. But it had PG Harvey on I think she sang lead on 2 songs and then backing on 5 or 6 songs. And that was cool. But here, he just traded PG Harvey for Brody on backing vocals and and then Suture Up Your Future, that was my least favorite song. Just one of those songs that I like everything about except the execution. I don't mind his vocal style like this, but I think it was just a miss on this one. Just didn't match anything with the melody, didn't match the instrumentals, and it just kind of took away from the fun.
Okay.
Era Vulgaris.
Era Vulgaris, number 8.
Era Vulgaris.
My number 8 is Lullabies to Paralyze. 4th record from 2005. This is really just an extension of Songs for the Deaf. They're going in more of a pop rock kind of realm. They're shedding a lot more of their kind of stoner rock, desert rock kind of feel on it. And it's not a bad record at all. I don't think they have any bad records. Just kind of had to stick it someplace. I wouldn't get this on vinyl. I wouldn't get all their records on vinyl, even though I have a lot of them already. But this is the first with Joey Castillo on drums. Josh Freese actually has a writing credit on this one as well, which is kind of cool on the song In My Head. And Nick Oliveri is not on bass on this one because he was fired right before this record. So this is every record kind of has their own kind of shake-up and issues and all kinds of shit like that. And even Josh Homme said this is the lowest point for the band was this particular record. And in the end, I just think this is their most boring record. I think I would equate it to the B-sides from Songs for the Deaf. That's really what it is to me. Banger, Little Sister, you can't fuck with this song. It's so much fun, and the cowbell is so over the top. So
this is the only song you put on your playlist from this record.
From this record, yeah. Oh yeah. So I made a best of Queens of the Stone Age playlist, like I do every week now, and I think there's 25 songs. I always max out at 5 from each album. I'll never put more than 5 off an album.
If you're holding yourself to a max per record, why not just hold yourself to a max of 10 overall? I just don't understand why the fuck you do that.
Because I can do whatever I want.
Bothers me. But you don't do whatever you want because you have all these fucking stupid rules, all these limitations.
But they're good limitations. Stinker, if I had to choose one,
yes,
Never Came. Not a bad song, just a slower, quieter jam, which they're still good at, but they're better at more, the stoner rock, a lot of downstrokes, heavier stuff. So yeah, Never Came, my stinker on this one. Lullabies to Paralyze is my number 8. My least favorite record from them. Still good though. What do you got for number 7?
Lullabies to Paralyze. Yeah,
There you go.
Fourth record. I think the best way to describe this one is it's just very one-dimensional. Like the Queen's envelope isn't really getting pushed here. Again, like you said, granted they had some turmoil, but they were still able to crank out some like mid to upper mid tier songs in this one. There's no like big punchy shong that like
big punchy
sets anything like a fire. I don't think Little Sister's that song. And there's like way too much like meh blues rock here. Like what the fuck? Like you guys aren't good at doing blues rock. Nor do I want to hear fucking like jammy ZZ Top blues rock in my Queens. Like maybe in the background, maybe like a little part of it, but don't make like blues rock songs. That's silly boy talk. Everybody Knows That You're Insane. That was my favorite song. It was fun, fast, slower vocals. And he likes to do that a lot, like faster tempos with like slower vocals. I like that contrast. And it sounds like a fun song to jam to, because like even though you're like in a hurry musically, you can kind of take your time because you know like, oh, we got fucking another 8 measures to go before he shuts the fuck up and we can get into the chorus here. So I like those jammy structures. Now like my worst song is also kind of a song that I've liked more now than I ever have, but it's Little Sister. It's not the worst song on the record. It's just one that made me not want to listen to the band for a long time. I've long just like not liked this song.
Really?
I do like it more
so
now.
Good. It's so catchy.
It's the percussive stuffs. They're too annoying. It's the cowbell and also like Josh's vocals. Overall, Josh's vocals are like,
I think his vocals are more of a placeholder. They're in a way they're kind of like my least favorite part of the whole band.
They for sure are the weakest part of the band, but I agree they are just like an instrument. They are a placeholder. They drive songs forward. Yeah. They exist,
but
for that.
There's still his voice is very different and very unique to where you still need it there, but it's still not the strongest part of the song most of the time.
It's unique because like who in the right mind would just kind of like sound like you're a boring 9th grade math teacher? Like who would want to sing like that?
Well,
and that's how he sings.
Croons. He has like that croon.
He's not a good singer. I think he's fucking garbage. I don't think he's good. I just think it matches what he was doing with this sound. But yes, he sounds like damn, I forgot my fucking math teacher's name.
Mr. Peck? No, he was in math. He was English, right?
She's kind of like a bigger lady. Was on West Campus. Kind of by Miss Chronick's class when she was on West Campus. Fuck, man. No, but she was a perfect example. Just boring math teacher. And that's how Josh Homme sings.
You're going to piss a lot of people off with that, saying that shit.
I don't give a fuck, dude. He's not a good singer. And then we'll get into other albums too, where I think he's like a bad singer.
All right. So number 7 for you is Lullabies to Paralyze. That it? You good?
That's it.
All right. My number 7 is Rated R, second record from 2000. Yeah, this is still a good
crazy.
record.
You're
this
crazy.
is still a good record.
That's wild.
I wouldn't get this on vinyl. I don't have it on vinyl. I think it's a good record, but it's a transition record. I mean, the self-titled record, the first record, is just it stands alone amongst their whole discography. Nothing sounds like that first record. This one leaves a lot of that stoner rock, the downstroke guitars, the raw kind of fuzzed out kind of shit. It leaves quite a bit of it on that first record, and it goes in a more pop-oriented route that they perfect on Songs for the Deaf. Like, honestly, I mean, that's like pop rock wise, that's like their best fucking record, hands down. And Rated R is it's a transition record. There's nothing wrong with it at all. This is also a brand new lineup of the band. Josh Homme, Nick Oliveri wrote all the songs on this record as well. There's a couple guys that added some little things here and there, but overall it was those two guys. It's a good record. I listened to it 3 times this week because I wasn't sure if I wanted to put it higher because it's so close to the first record, and I do love that first record. But yeah, I don't know. It didn't quite hit as hard. It's still great. I would still give this record a 2 out of 3.
I think it's crazy that you put this above Times New Roman. Like, that to me is wild.
Well,
that's crazy. That's wrong, actually. It's not wild. It's fucking wrong.
So either way, this album is really good. I don't care. It's great, but I had to put it somewhere. It's my number 7. Banger, The Lost Art of Keeping a Secret. Super catchy, poppy riff. The use of the xylophone marimba. It's all over the song, and I'm a sucker for that shit. Fucking love that shit. If I had to pick a stinker, it's Lightning Song. It's that acoustic, driven, like instrumental kind of thing. Not bad, just not necessary. Also, the bass line on In the Fade. killer fucking bass line. So I did like that.
Cool. Fucking
yeah,
low.
Rated R. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Okay.
So what do you got for number 6?
That's something. Villains. Villainous. Villani. Their 7th record. The big takeaway here, obviously produced by Mark Ronson, so we get like hella poppy, kind of like alt rock dance record. Yeah. And this isn't really like a Queen's record in heart, but like I do appreciate what they're doing here. There's really no fuzzy desert rock shit, but more like up tempo, like Bruno Mars backing band sound, which they actually do pretty goddamn well on this record. So if you take this record as just like a different direction that they wanted to do, and like, fuck it, we want to do a record like this, they achieved that perfectly. And it's a nice break from the same mediocre desert rock, stoner rock thing that they do quite often. But it's still not a great record. But it was a fun listen, and like if I'm choosing, I'm gonna want to listen to this over like Era or what other one I fucking Lullabies. Yeah. But it's still not a great record. But they did do a funny promo video with Liam Lynch for this record where they hooked him up to a polygraph test, and that was kind of funny. And it was cool to see them laugh and be goofy.
Have fun.
Yeah, have fun. I always seem so serious.
Well, we'll get into that on the main episode with their DVD. But
I didn't see their DVD, but everything I've read and seen, they just always so fucking serious.
But they're really not. They're really not.
Well,
bunch of goofballs. They're a bunch of goofballs.
I mean, Josh on me acts like a bitch quite often, so. But yeah,
okay,
that's okay.
Okay.
The way that you used to do, the way you do the things you do. That was my favorite song. It was weird. It had this kind of like Zoot Suit Riot swing to it, and I was like, dude, this like, that's wild that you guys like created a sound, stuck to that sound, perfected that sound, made money on that sound. People expect that sound, and then you put this out. Like, that's fucking, that's wild. I respect it.
Ballsy.
I don't love it, but like, wow, that was fucking, again, like they wanted to sound like this, and they achieved that goal. So I'll give them that. The Evil Has Landed. I really don't like at all when Josh does high pitched vocal thing. He did all over this fucking song, and it was so annoying, and it was obnoxious, and he just sounds like an asshole, and I can't stand it. Even the last part of the song was kind of cool, like rock and roll vocals.
Yeah.
They were still grating and annoying. I just, ugh.
Okay. All right. So Villains, number 6.
Yeah.
Villains is also my number 6. 7th record from 2017. This is also the first record where John Theodore was on drums full time. He played on one song on the record before this, but he played drums on all of these songs here. And yeah, Mark Ronson produced it, so it does have a more pop, dance pop kind of feel to it, especially with the production. I mean, the drums themselves, just the tone of all of that, it's very tinny. It does not sound like anything they've ever done. This whole record doesn't sound like anything they've ever done.
That's exactly what it sounds like.
Yeah. That's a great comparison. I totally agree with you on that. But I like this record. Like when it came out, I hated it. I fucking hated this record when it came out. And John Theodore is my favorite drummer ever. And coming into this, I thought, okay, he's gonna be killer in this band. And they put Villains out, and I didn't like it. I hated it, and I listened to it 3 times this last week, and it just keeps growing on me. And John Theodore, he's so nuanced on this record. Like if you just sit down and listen to his grooves and his shuffles and just his fills, it's just, he fucking nails it. Like this is what John Theodore is. He's so good at the nuance, and that's what he did in the Mars Volta and Golden. And he's super good on this. He's not flashy like the Mars Volta, but that's not what this album calls for. But he still adds a lot of he churches up a lot of stuff, which is fucking great. And I do like this record more and more. It's possible I might get this on vinyl at this point.
Yeah, correct.
I might.
Whew.
I might. This one might even go
6
up on
Queens
my
records.
rankings. This might even go up on my rankings as time goes on. But I really like this record. It's something clicked with me on this one, and I was very shocked. Banger, Feet Don't Fail Me Now. It's just catchy as hell, and John's groove is incredible on this one. Fucking super sick fills, and just just so dancey, and I fucking love it. It's fucking good. Stinker, Villains of Circumstance. This sounds like a soundtrack to a movie, like theater kid kind of sound to it. I don't like it at all. It sounds like it belongs in that kind of movie. This is actually probably the only stinker in their entire discography, because not every song is great, but at least every song is good. This is
true.
Probably their only. This is probably the only song I did not like by them. Was Villains of Circumstance.
Even when Josh is singing in a way that I just don't like at all, at least like the music is fucking pretty dope and I can get behind it. This might be one of those bands. I don't
dislike anything.
Even
really.
my worst songs they're not stinkers. They're just not like they're kind of bottom tier or whatever. But they're not stinkers. I don't think that I had any stinkers for this band.
Yeah, same. I think this band they're great. They're a lot of fun, and they're just fun to just kind of chill to and just kind of throw it on in the back. They're a good background band too. Like you don't always have to just kind of sit there and listen to every single fucking note, but they're a great background band too. So, I don't know. Villains, great fucking record. My number 6. I might pick this one up. When I'm out in Arizona in 2 days. So,
okay,
probably not though. What's your number 5? Go.
Like Clockwork, 6th record. There's a lot to like about this record. They come in really hot, lay down some classic sounding Queens, 2 great drum performers in the same record.
3.
But then we get ballads. And there's ballads here, and he tries to be a singer, dude, and it's so fucking annoying. Like it's worse than bad. Worse than bad is just fucking irritating. And it's pissing me off because he's trying to sound like Prince almost. And it's just not good. It is not good. This is his worst vocal performance out of all the records that he has. It's fucking annoying. But god damn, dude. There is like classic desert rock sounds on this record. Musically, it's fucking amazing. It's really, really good. Yeah. But because he opens his mouth and tries to be a singer, it's number 5. What are you gonna do? What do you want me to do?
I don't know.
That's all I got. Keep Your Eyes Peeled. That's my banger. It's the opener. One of the longer songs, and has Joey on drums. Just classic Queens fucking through and through. It's eerie and dry and riddled with subtleties. And that song is fucking amazing. Fairweather Friends is my worst song. This is the one that I think he really tries to be like a singer, and I don't like it. I like him like you mentioned, like a placeholder. I like him as a placeholder for vocals to just match the style. Just be mediocre and let the music back it up, because that's really what we're going for here. We're going for nuance, not like skill set here. And dude, like Clockwork, this like could have been. Nah, it won't be my number 1 or 2, but like this could have been number 3 if he didn't sing like an asshole.
If he didn't sing like an asshole, oof.
Don't sing like an asshole. Don't care.
All right, so my number 5 is In Times New Roman, 8th record from 2023, their latest record. I do have this on vinyl. I do really like this record. It's solid. It's a great fusion of the Era Vulgaris era and the Like Clockwork era. I like both of those records a lot. They got rid of all of the dance pop elements of Villains, which it's cool. I'm glad they kind of not threw it back, but they kind of just did their normal style, that they do so well. It gave John Theodore more free reign to kind of church things up in a different way than he did on Villains, and it's extremely fucking tight, but loose and swingy when it needs to be. Great fucking riffage, just a solid stoner rock record. This is really it's solid, and every time I listen to it, I enjoy it more and more. So it's definitely, I liked it when I first heard it, and it just keeps growing more and more with me. I really do dig this record. Banger is Time and Place. That wonky, it's a kind of a wonky song with a kind of offbeat. Guitarists were playing off of each other. John has some fucking super rad fills and some cool shuffles in certain parts of the song. It's a banger. Stinker is Sicily. I had to pick a stinker. There's nothing particularly bad about this. It's more of, I guess, of a filler on the song, but otherwise, great fucking record in Times New Roman. So, were the dogs barking? Is that why you muted yourself?
Did you see me mute it?
I heard it too.
You heard
No, I heard like the white noise. Just I heard it disappear, and then your little mic has the slash through it.
Well, I don't know if Renee's home or not, but they just started barking. Then they stopped too early, so I don't think she's home. I think they're just barking at something. Oh no, she's home.
She's home. There you go.
Dang, she got in the house quick.
Don't fuck around. So what do you got for number 4?
Crazy Legs. Number 4 is Times New Roman. Their latest record. This
Yeah,
record is good. It's got the classic desert rock sound, but it's definitely more safe and sane. It's definitely a darker and harder record than a lot of their work. But it did sound a lot like a little too like Nick Cavey sounding for me, that kind of style. But it was cool because they're able to push forward and get back to their roots without like sounding like they're a band that's like, ah, fuck, dude, let's do a 72 Seasons or a 13. Like, this is actually a record that stands on its own, that sounds like old Queens, but is not old Queens. And I think that's tough to do for bands fucking 8 records deep, you know, especially for a guy that's been doing this for 30 fucking years. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But this was a solid record. I like this record way more now than I did when we did Queens the first time and when this record came out. I think we did Queens around this, didn't we? Because I feel like we talked about this record. Or maybe we just talked about this record. I don't remember. But anyway.
No, we did Queens. We did Queens before.
Before this record came out?
In Times New Roman?
Yeah.
Yeah, the last time we did Queens was 2019 or
long before. Okay.
Yeah, way before this record came out. Before Villains, I think, too. But
cool.
Anyway.
Yeah, Made a Parade of my favorite. Very weird song for these guys. Very like 60s era psych pop. Fucking wild. Pretty cool. Because they're so into like that stoner rock thing of like the heavier edge of like the 70s. To hear them do kind of like, I don't know, like 60s, like Jefferson Airplane was kind of fun. Straight Jack Fitting, that was my least favorite. This is the most like Nick Cave sounding song on this record. Solid, but just didn't need to be fucking 9 minutes long with that long ass break afterward. Like, that's just, come on, bro. Like,
Are you criticizing Nick Cave?
I don't like Nick Cave. I don't care. I don't give a fuck.
I know. I don't fucking get it.
I don't give a shit.
I know. I've tried.
Obviously, okay. That now here's come the cyberbullying or the online.
This is
what do you call it?
exactly
Pod bullying. Here's the
pod bullying, cyberbullying. Yeah.
Oh, you fucking just don't get Nick Cave in breath. You fucking cheeky biscuit.
Because there is a friend of the pod here who absolutely loves Nick Cave.
That we never talk about or bully. So
I just don't get it. I don't get Nick Cave, but it's okay. It's okay. Some people could be wrong. Skip, you could be wrong. It's okay.
Damn.
Things happen.
Calls him out by name.
That's what happens when you like bad things, you know, and you don't like Unwritten Law. That's what happens.
Oh boy, that's gonna set him off.
Honestly, I enjoy Unwritten Law more than I enjoy Nick Cave. Like, I have
a
way better time.
More fun music.
I have a way better time listening to Unwritten Law than I have ever had listening to Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, or whatever band or whatever like punk thing or post punk thing or art rock thing or avant garde thing he was ever done. Unwritten Law is better. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. They're better. Hear that,
Good.
Skip?
I like it.
Anyway,
I like it.
and I'm being serious.
I know, and I like that too. So I agree.
Anyway, so In Times New Roman, that's your number 4.
What do you have? Okay, so you have. What the fuck do you have left?
I have good records left.
You have Era Vulgaris, which is boring. You have Like Clockwork, which is like, that's fine. You probably like Josh Homme's vocals. You have Queens, and then Songs for the Deaf. There it is. Go.
Number 4, Era Vulgaris.
There it is. Like I said,
5th record from 07. This is this record was recorded a little bit differently in that they had no input from the record label. There was no pressure on what kind of songs you should write or anything like that, and it worked for this record because they stepped farther away from the pop rock stuff that you were hearing on the last 2 records, Songs for the Deaf or last 3 records really, from Rated R through Lullabies, and it's more back to the stoner fuzzed out kind of rock stuff here. I really dig it. I think the songs are fucking bangers. Joey Castillo kills it on this fucking record as well on drums. I think it's fantastic. There are moments where it just sounds super lazy and almost sounds like they're barely holding it together. But then there's some parts that are super fucking tight too. Like, it's just, this record's a little bit all over the place in kind of feel, and I love it for that. But also that's Joey Castillo being the incredible drummer that he is. So I don't know. I think it's fantastic. This is a great record. I'm certainly going to get this on vinyl. I listened to it 3 times as well this week because I enjoyed it so much. Actually, the album of the week I listened to the least amount of times this week because just I was enjoying other shit, these other records too. So, and I've heard Songs for the Deaf a million fucking times. So Era Vulgaris, my number 4. Misfit Love is my banger. Has that long instrumental long instrumental intro. Super groovy song, super fuzzed out guitars. He does some falsetto stuff with the vocals, and it's okay. I don't always like it, but it worked here. Some solid fucking harms as well. Killer song. Stinker, if I had to, Make It With You. I know you like this song, but it's not a bad song by any means. It's just I had to choose
That's
one.
crazy.
It has that kind of has like a late 60s psych feel to it. I don't know. I had to choose a stinker. This is my least favorite, I guess.
Okay.
Era Vulgaris. When we go to Nichols this weekend, if it's there, I might pick it up. So there you go.
Those are words.
What do you got for number 3? Go.
Rated R. Here's where the vinyls come in. Everything from here on out, I'm going to buy on the vinyls, or I already have on the vinyls. Rated R, second record. This record's incredible. Like pushing their sound farther in a specific direction.
Pushing.
Poor guy. We should look him up.
No, I don't want to look him up.
Not like right now, but we should look him up and see
No, I don't want to.
if he remembers that. Like, hey, I was just reminiscing. Do you remember when we put you in the spot and made you improvise a fucking song that you had never heard before, and then like criticize it at the end of it? Do you remember that? Is Andy still the video
I still have the video.
of the him doing it?
Mm-hmm.
What?
I'll send it to you after we finish.
Yeah, dude, I need to see this like now.
So number 3, yeah. What number 3 rated R?
Number
Continue.
3 rated R. They pushing the sound, but don't overdo it. It's still a rock record. That's not a rock record. I want to say walk record. A rock record at heart, with like the outward defiance toward. I mean, like really like new metal, pop, and hip hop that was dominating the scene in the year 2000. Like that's crazy, and like just them even doing this sound in like the late 90s and just like doubling down afterwards. Especially because their first record didn't like blow up and give them fame that they probably wanted, but this did, and this got them a lot of attention, and I think that's because they're like, nah, dude, we're not gonna relent, right? Like if they had done Villains on this one, obviously they couldn't because it was a different thing, whatever. But had they done like a pop centric record for their second record, I think that would have just killed their career and it's been done. But I think because they did a rated R, which it clearly is a transitional record, like this is their fucking tremulant to like, right, like At the Drive-In to Delouse, like this is their tremulant EP. Like it is a transitional record. It should be their first record, whereas like Queen should just be something entirely different, a Josh Homme solo project. But dude, this record never lets up. It starts off fucking so hard, and it never stops. It really doesn't. Like Lightning Sound, that is my least favorite song because I don't think it's even necessary.
Yeah, it's not.
Honestly, Lightning Sound on an otherwise damn near perfect record, Lightning Sound may be like the worst song they've done because it just doesn't fucking flow, dude. It doesn't fit. I don't know why they did it. It's stupid, and I really don't like it. Monsters in the Parasol, that was my favorite one. Love this riffage, just chuggy fun. The song's fucking weird too, like goofy in the way your boy Wednesday 14 is goofy, because it's just silly. It's a silly song, but it still stays in the realm of being like a very serious Queen song.
Okay, it's fair.
Rated R,
It's fair.
number 3.
Rated R, number 3. My number 3 is Queens of the Stone Age. Queens of the Stone Age,
Oh, that's
self-titled
crazy boy
record,
talk.
baby.
That's silly boy talk.
This is their first record from 1998. I think this is just an incredible fucking record. I would say a perfect stoner rock record, desert rock, fuzzed out record. That's exactly what this is. Not one of their records sounds like this because obviously they went into a more popular realm later on, even on Rated R, the one after this record. So this is truly a standalone record, and I agree. It would be fine if this was not a Queen's record. This could have been a Josh Homme solo record, because in the end, it was Josh Homme and Alfredo Hernandez who played on this entire record. Alfredo played all the drums. Josh did everything else. I mean, this is essentially just a solo record, more so than any one of their other records. And the guitar tones they got on this record, God, they're scrumptious. Like that's like they're delicious. Like the riffage on just the tone, those guitar tones. I can't explain to you like how incredible it sounds. Like God, it just sounds so fuzzed out and good. I don't think any band has ever gotten this kind of guitar tone down this well. It's just so perfect. You start off the album with Regular John, which is my favorite song on the record. To me, this is a top 5 Queens of the Stone Age song. Regular John, just that the downstroke, that dun 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 dun, just the one power chord note, just downstroked for so fucking long, and then the it's just, you know, he's turning up the volume like up and down, and just barely getting those notes in there. Just, it sounds so nasty. It sounds so dirty and delicious. Scrumptious. I fucking love it. I fucking love this record. It's so goddamn good. Perfect stoner rock record. I love the downstrokes. The downstrokes on the guitar is outside of the tone, the downstrokes on the guitar is what makes this record as well, because it's like all downstrokes, man, and it's just nasty. I love it. So yeah, Regular John, my banger off this one. Stinker, if I had to choose one, I Was a Teenage Hand Model. The Closer, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just the quietest song. It doesn't rock as hard. It sound like an old fucking person. It doesn't rock as hard as the rest of the record. But and also that outro synth part, that like last 45 seconds of the song, where they only put it on there for people who fell asleep while they were listening, so they'd wake up like really annoyed. That's annoying, but cool, but annoying. So number 3, self-titled, first record. What do you got for number 2?
Okay, here's where we get into like I'm doing this based off of just what I like, not what I think is their best. So my number 2, just my personal preferences, even though I think my number 2 is probably their number 1 objectively, but the album of the week is my number 2.
Okay, that's okay. My number 2 then is Like Clockwork, 6th record, 2013. I absolutely love this record. The first time I heard it when it came out, I just immediately loved it. I listened to it all the fucking time. This is one of my road trip records. So anytime I go on a road trip more than 2 hours long, I throw this record on. So every time I go out to Arizona on the way back, this is my road trip album.
Makes sense.
Is Like Clockwork.
Ballads here. You're a ballad
fucking
man.
love it. I wouldn't say there's like one ballad. Smooth Sailing, yeah. Maybe Collapsia. Smooth Sailing, okay, I get it. That's kind of a ballad, but it doesn't matter. This is also a great fucking desert rock, kind of stoner rock record. This throws it back, not quite to the self-titled, more rated R, but they did it so much fucking better. 3 drummers on this record. Dave Grohl plays most of the songs. Joey Castillo on three of them, I believe, and then John Theodore on the last song, which is actually the worst song on the record, the weakest song, which is the title track. But absolutely, I mean, 3 incredible drummers on this record. 2 of them being some of my favorite drummers of all time. It's very dry sounding. Like the drum tones they got were just extremely dry and nasty fucking sounding. Super fuzzed out guitars again, but in a different way than the first record. It's just better production, but still fucking crazy good tones they got on this record. Songs are incredible, super fucking catchy. A little bit longer than normal, but I don't give a fuck because these songs are absolute fucking bangers. If I Had a Tail is my banger off this one, I would put this as a top 5 Queen song for me as well. I do love If I Had a Tail, love it so much. So yeah, I don't know. And then this record came out at a weird time too, because Josh Homme was really fucking sick from a botched knee surgery, got super infected with MRSA and all kinds of fucking shit. And MRSA is nothing to fuck around with. And yeah, so some people say he almost died and shit like that, but it gave him a new perspective on life. And
some people say he did die.
Some people did say, but then he said no, that was people were being dramatic about it, but who knows? But this record was made shortly after he got better. He was able to walk again because he was bedridden for 4 months. So you kind of have to learn how to walk again after that kind of shit. So there's just, goddamn, dude, this record's so good. It's so fucking good. I have it on vinyl. I go back to it so much. So Like Clockwork, that's my number 2.
Okay.
So what do you got for number 1?
Number 1, they're self-titled. They're first. Queens of the Stone Ages, Queen of the Stone Ages. Firstly, the bridge between Caius and Queens is this record, and it's I said it earlier, but it's pretty damn cool to see Josh have this vision of here is where I started in this band, and then 30 fucking years later, I've perfected it. I have done everything I wanted to do musically, and I am happy with what I put out. Right, that's crazy. I find that fucking insane. From when Caius started to when Times New Roman has come out, it's like 30 years. That's a career.
Yeah.
People retire after that shit.
It's-
That is fucking wild.
I think the first Caius came out in 1990, I believe, or 90 or 92. I don't.
It's early 90s and then early 20s, right? So like, dude, that's a fucking career.
Yeah.
Like you should
30
be
years of
retiring.
music.
And it's cool to see like a musician set himself out and be like, oh, I have a general concept of what I want, and like all the stuff that he does is not like exponentially different than everything else. Like he's not doing a hip hop record followed by like a pop record followed by like a reggae record. It's all in the same umbrella, but it's cool to see him perfect the sound, take it in different directions, take it back, push the envelope forward, and like, damn, dude, that's just cool. Like I'm happy for him for doing that. But I put this at number one just because like I'm a sucker for this like stoner shit, like especially the last like several years, just from collecting the vinyls and stuff. I just like this record is exactly what I want from this genre. Everything about this. This is up there with Master Reality as being like the best stoner rock record of all time. It is so fucking good.
I would agree with you. Yeah.
It is like perfect
I would
in
agree
every
with you.
way. I think like this is
I honestly
just
think it's better than all the Caius stuff. I'm not a fan of the Caius stuff.
all of the records except for the Valley one. I was like, they're good, not great, but the Valley one I was like, dude, this is fucking good, and that's on my list of stuff to get on the vinyls too. But yeah, this is a Josh solo record essentially. I think this is just as important as Songs for the Deaf. It's like late 90s post grunge 70s music. It's fucking weird. Like after the game changed from grunge, right? These guys decided to like try and make a contemporary Master Reality. Like, who the fuck would do that? That's silly. Like that's career suicide. That's never going to work. And they fucking made it work wonderfully. But it didn't like work the way they wanted it to, and they didn't like make a bunch of money on it and a bunch of fame. So like they kind of tweaked it a little bit and made it a little bit more accessible. And that's the rest of the Queens of the Stone Age discographies, a little bit more accessible, a little bit more cohesive. This is just burnt out shit. Do you remember Mike Stone in high school? That fucking
Yeah.
This is like just like burnt out fucking pothead shit. And like I'm not even a stoner, and like I fucking love this record. These aren't the joys you're looking for is my least favorite song. Honestly, I picked this song just because it had the longest title, and I was like, I don't fucking know, dude. I really think this album's perfect. You Would Know was my favorite, and this is my favorite Queen song because this is like all he's doing is picking a power chord. Like that's all the dirty like, dude, that is the dumbest fucking thing you could possibly do. And what he pulls from three fucking notes over the course of like 4.5 minutes, it is wild. It's one of the coolest, like truly badass stoner rock jam I have ever fucking heard. It is so fucking amazing what this dude could do. And this is where his vocal style comes in. All like the I'm like, dude, you don't need to sing. You can just moan and shit, and I'll eat it up. Like, just be, I don't know. Don't try so hard. And like, this is the perfect example of less is more. Dude, he power chord the whole fucking song.
Yeah, less is not more though. More is more.
That's it. That's a song. Done. Crazy. This album is fucking so goddamn good.
It is. It's fucking great.
Yeah, that's my number one.
Getting an OG of that, of the self-titled, would be so cool.
It'll happen one day.
Fucking expensive.
It'll happen
expensive
one
as
day.
hell. All right, so my number one, Songs for the Deaf, album of the week, obviously. So thank you all for listening. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, give us 5 stars. If you're watching on YouTube, smash that subscribe button and listen to the main episode. And that's it. That's all.